everybody. Welcome to another episode of Outdoors with MSA with yourself. Well, not with yourself, but with Anthony Jones and myself, Jonathan Abernathy, with our special guest, Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Can't complain.
Not at all. Hey, Steve, welcome for joining us, man. If you want to just take a couple minutes to kind of explain who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
I'm Steve Capizzi. I'm a Philly-born native, but locally relocated to Junction City, Kansas. I served in the military 11 years, got out medically due to injuries. I was an artilleryman, cannon crew member, and now I find my love for woodworking and making turkey calls and getting in the outdoors and getting the youth in the outdoors as well.
That's awesome.
13 bang bang. All right.
Full string get
I
cookie.
I was a 13 Fox. I know a little bit about you guys. You're all right. I can deal with you.
So, what's the name of your turkey call company? And when
my business is called 2FO Game Calls. We specialize in pot calls, mouth calls, and custom woodworking as well, and laser engraving.
Awesome.
All right.
So,
I want one just based off the name now.
Right. Well, I thought 2FO stood for, 2 forward observer or something,
It would have been good if I been a forward observer. It would have made sense. It's basically.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No.
Now I got to hear the story, man, because here I am, a forward observer, like, oh, okay, I like this.
No, it basically is how I look at it. It's like two friends outdoors. It's always better to go hunting with a friend. It's always more enjoyable. Get to share a moment with a friend or even a family member, So 2FO just stuck.
That's awesome. How long have you been in the turkey call business?
Turkey call business, I'm going on my 5th year. It took me quite a bit to acquire my sound, so I didn't really consider myself a full-blown call maker until I found my sound. So I'm in my 5th year on that.
Awesome. Now, you said woodworking helps you and that you don't just make turkey calls, but you do laser engravings, etc. Well, how does it help you? I mean, being that you got out because you were injured, what has it done to help you?
Well, I would say it helps me mentally, I guess, because, in the military, it's always fast go. And being as though I'm only 5 minutes from the Fort Riley gates, I feel like I may have gotten out of the Army, but I feel like the Army still employs me with making plaques for them and stuff. And there's, with the Army, it's always I dropped the ball last minute. I need a plaque in 2 days. So it's kind of like that stress under fire. I kind of enjoy again to get that feeling. We got to get it done. We got to get it done. Get it done no matter how. We got to get it done, basically. So I think it kind of helps. And, I actually have another veteran that works with me. So it's kind of therapeutic for both of us. He's very attention to detail. So he enjoys the whole painting of the plaques and stuff. And it's just a lot of attention to detail in here because, one misprogrammed deal and there goes a $70 piece of oak out the window. So it's just the attention to detail that keeps you going.
I can definitely see that. When I got out, I did some wood burning, the little metal pen that heats up and you sketch whatever you have on the board. I found it really enjoyable, more enjoyable than I thought I would find, drawing on wood. So I see where the therapeutic side of it comes in.
Yeah, and it's kind of also, it's like I applied to a lot of jobs, but I mean, ultimately I felt like this was the best fit, not to talk bad, but in today's world, I feel like there's really no accountability in the workforce. Not like the military, you screw up. Well, we ain't leaving until it's done. So, but then it's kind of like in the regular workforce, it's like, we'll get to it tomorrow, maybe the next day. And it's just kind of like physically, I could go back to work. It's just the mental part because it would drive me insane most likely.
Yeah, 100% agree. The mentality of the civilian workforce, and I'm not knocking the civilian workforce, it's how you were brought up through your work career. But how we were brought up through our, you join at 18 and you learn, no, this is what's on the data schedule. This must be done it doesn't matter what time you end because technically we were all salary employees, right? Like they didn't care if you got off at midnight and had to come back in at 4.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's
Been there, done
life,
that. Don't miss that.
yeah, don't miss that at all.
You know. So
and also like to add to it, I mean, I'm not afraid to share, but like after being out, I'm going on my 2nd year. I'll tell you the hardest thing after getting out is really finding your identity. When you're in the military, it's, hey, you're Sergeant Capizzi, hey, you're Colonel so-and-so. And then when you get out, you're just kind of like, you're Steve now. And it's like trying to adjust to your identity again and getting back to a regular world. And, I struggled with my first year. I mean, I actually almost pulled my time card because it got a little rough from, being used to that lifestyle. And the other veteran that I have working here, he lives 2 streets over from me. So I don't know if he said he felt obligated, but he kind of wanted to get involved with the woodworking, but he felt like him being here can also help benefit me instead of me just singing and talking to the walls type deal. So, so he comes here every day. So,
yeah, Steve, I wouldn't be on these podcasts if it weren't for Anthony. I like to talk to people, but not too much. Like, if it wasn't for my buddy here, I'd be sitting at home twiddling thumbs.
Sorry, my kid is. We'll have to edit this part out. I'm dealing with it.
Yeah, but I mean, with him also, being when I shared my story on social media, because I was that loudmouth Philly boy, so everybody kind of always thought, hey, Sergeant Capizzi's good to go. And when I shared that story, you'd be surprised on how many people reached out to me and said, I'm going to get help because, we never thought somebody like you with your mentality and your, I guess I wouldn't say ego or, just being a loud person,
demeanor.
You never think it's the people that you never think it would be that it's actually haunting the most.
Right.
So I helped 3 or 4 people and they seeked help after I told my story. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember getting out and struggling my first couple of years out,
Oh man, I was homeless my first couple of years out. Like I didn't know what to do with myself.
I lived with my dad. I'm not gonna lie, it was hell.
So the one good thing with this, it's like I was doing the woodworking and stuff. The turkey calls came first. I started it with the turkey calls, and then it was like, hey, can you make so and so a going away plaque? I did that. Hey, it turned out good. Then I started getting into plaques and off season from turkey calls that kept me running. So I mean, I guess in a way I had a plan already in set because I was busy enough to be like, I could do this Monday through Friday, and here I am doing it now from Monday through Friday. And I guess that having that plan, I had plan B, which was to go get a government job, but plan B just didn't work out. Plan A was better, and that was being self-employed.
Right. So tell us about your first turkey call and the first one that you used to kill a bird.
Oh boy.
First hunt with your turkey call. I want to hear
I'll tell you my first call I ever made. It was kind of rough, but like the more you build them, the better you get. The more woodworking experience you get, the more crafty and the more pretty you can make them. So I mean, the first turkey call I made, it was on a lathe. It was not perfect by no means. It made a turkey sound, but I had to get better. So I kept at it. And basically, that's when I kind of went into the CNC machining because I found what I liked and I just replicated it. And I enjoyed getting the precision out of it. I didn't want to have call A, my main one, and then the next one I make was a little bit off because it can throw a sound here and there. So I got into the whole CNC world and started getting it going and came a long way. I mean, heck, I'll pull some of the old stuff compared to the new stuff and you'd be like, wow, like, holy crap, that's crazy. So, I mean, like, just in general, like, it just looks, there's no profile, no nothing, just a plain Jane turkey call. So this was my 3rd call I ever made out of a Babingo pot. And then now we go to today, and it's more profile, more clean, and we got a turkey pot, and it sounds great. So I mean, it's just the everyday steps. You just do something new every day, which is awesome in this shop, because whether it's turkey calls or building a turkey mount for somebody, or building a flag, there's something new in here every day. So
creating something out of nothing. It's always a good
basically.
Feeling. And then, so I had a question. You said that you found your sound, and that's when you really knew that this was it. How did you know when you found your sound?
Well, so the way I found my sound, it's like I have bought mass-produced calls. So I had about 4 different brands in front of me, and they work, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. I like that raspy, high pitch type deal, and it was the amount of scraps that I had to go through to get what I wanted. I feel like every call maker needs their sound, because I guess what the best way to put it is, once you find that one particular hen sound that you love and you like, you got to replicate it, and then you take it to the field, and then you get the response. You call a bird and you kill a bird with a call you make. It's probably the most rewarding thing out of all of it. And then it gets even more rewarding when other people want your call, and then they're killing birds with your call. It's just rewarding.
Awesome.
So if I was, say I wanted to buy a call from you today,
mm-hmm.
How long would it take for you to make it and get it shipped? Like, do you have stuff already on deck ready to ship out?
So yeah, everything on my website, I have to update it, but everything on my website right now is what you see on there is what I have ready to go. Now I do get the occasional people like, hey, I'd like an engraved picture on the slate soundboard. So like for a glass call, or they want a picture inlaid in there, those ones it would probably roughly take 3 to 5 days to get in the mail, So I mean, it doesn't take forever,
Yeah, it's not bad.
You usually get your call within a week.
You mentioned that
craziest. Oh, go ahead, Anthony.
You mentioned a website. Do you want to list off your website so people can find you?
Yeah. So my website's www.2fogamecalls.com.
Okay. Awesome. You showed me a pot call the other day on my PM there, and it was that Osage one, man. That one really has me going.
Oh yeah, so I'd say Osage is one of my favorite pots to use. Like, no matter what you put into a hedge pot, you get full blown jam packed full of turkey in it, and most people don't like it. They think it's ugly because it's yellow. I think it's the most prettiest wood, especially when you flame it and glaze it up with a nice finish. I mean, it's beautiful. It sounds beautiful. And I mean, you just can't go wrong with hedge.
Right. It's a beautiful call, man. Do you have it on you right now so you can show the people?
I'm pretty sure I do have one.
I like your foxtrot mug, bro.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
I'm thanking the sponsors without saying anything about the sponsors, bro. What are you doing? Yeah, I drank out of that one yesterday.
So we got 2 different ones. We got the double-sided one. We got a brass over aluminum.
Yeah.
This is a more revamped of my old product called the kitchen sink. You got the brass, and it's all metal. So it's a junky, raspy call you got. And then I have a single hedge.
Okay.
And that's just a slate over glass, and you get a nice high pitch with a little bit of rasp. A lot of these calls depend on the caller's ability. Like for say my 6-shooter, you got 6 surfaces, you got 6 different tones of turkey. Now, I've seen other call makers. The maximum you will achieve is up to your calling ability. I seen a guy get 10 different tones out of the 6-shooter the other day, and I'm like, oh, I only knew of 6. It just comes down to the player's ability, really, and right. It's pretty amazing. Like, I know you're going to get 6 different tones from my call, but heck, you get 10. I mean, you don't even need to carry anything else but this, maybe a box call for a windy day.
Right.
So
What is the weirdest material you've built a call out of? Like you were just like, dude, here's a beer can. I'm gonna make a call out of a beer can. Or
I would say I haven't really done any weird ones. There's some woods that are kind of unforgiving, and you learn really quick that some of these woods you can get a nice little skin reaction really fast and get really itchy. Like when you start getting into the Indian rose woods, and every time I cut cedar in my shop, it just sends me on a sneezing fest. For some reason, I don't know why, but I love the smell of red cedar, but that dust just puts me into a sneeze attack, and I just wear a mask, and even that doesn't even help. It cuts down the amount of sneezing, but it still happens.
So you said you live outside of Fort Riley. Does that mean do you turkey hunt in Fort Riley? Like
I hunt. That's people are probably going to shun me from the community, but that's a hidden gem. Yeah. I mean, it is a hidden gem. It's accessible to the public and all, but I mean, Fort Riley's almost feels like your own private land. I mean, there's 200,000 acres open for hunting, so I mean, you don't get many hunters. You get the first 2 weekends, the weekend warriors, and then it's kind of like, then you just see your diehard turkey hunters out there nonstop. But other than that, there's so much land out there. It's really hard to run into somebody. And honestly, you throw a stone, there's a turkey or some type of animal there.
So Fort Riley, Kansas changed their bird limits a couple of years ago to where it's primarily one bird unless you're in a different zone.
So our unit
somewhere you can get to.
Yeah, so unit 1 and 2 is the 2-bird zone, which is from me would be about 40 minutes to get out there. To get past that Route 135 line, you got to go west of it. So it's out by Salina, so about a 40-minute drive. But yeah, it's kind of weird, that flood that we had about, I think, 3 or 4 years ago here in Kansas. It kind of a lot of these birds build nests along the rivers or the creeks and stuff. So that kind of messed everything up. And believe it or not, I don't know why our unit's in a 1-bird limit, because I mean, where the 2-bird limit is, it's kind of where most of the flooding really, really messed up the population. Because I mean, I've hunted out towards the western side, and a lot of my friends are like, we don't have as many birds as we used to. And I'm like, man, they're like cockroaches over here. I'm seeing birds this year in places I ain't seen them in 7 years.
That's good.
And I'm seeing birds in places that you never seen them.
Yeah.
So, and they're still in the spots that you normally do see them. So
what type of terrain do you have there in Kansas? Because the only time I've been through Kansas, we were driving up to Alaska.
So most people think Kansas is just sea for miles and miles. We're in the Flint Hills, believe it or not. We got some rolling hills. There's some timber. A lot of CRP pasture type deals, but I mean, for the most part in this general area, there's some nice woodland, lots of creeks that run through. So it's turkey country back here.
I turkey hunted in Lindsborg a couple of years ago.
Lindsborg?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just below Salina, around Solomon, Lindsborg.
Yeah, it's like the Swedish town. They have a nice big fair out there every year.
Yeah. And, it's a lot of fields, man. And what little woods there was all along, like the Smoky Hill River, the Solomon River, creeks. So, never heard so many birds gobble in my life until I went to Kentucky last year. There was so many gobbling out there.
So what got you stuck on turkey? Like why turkey, and why not making deer calls or duck calls or anything else other than a turkey?
So I guess I did dip into the whole duck call. Every call maker usually always, hey, let me see what I got this block of wood. Let me see if I'll make an owl hooter. I'll make a deer grunt, And then you just find what your niche is, I guess. And out of all the, I mean, I love duck hunting. I deer hunt, but I don't know. There's just something about turkey. It's so interactive.
Right.
I mean, because I used to be a big deer hunter, but now deer hunting really, it doesn't really do it for me as much. You get a gobbler 10 steps from you hammering away and you feel it in your chest. There's no other feeling like that. You get the spit and you get the drumming. But I mean, turkey is just, I don't know. They're like majestic and they're pretty. They're ugly, but they're pretty when they do all their dances and their fighting and all that stuff. I mean,
yeah,
you're basically you're tricking a wild animal.
You're making it go against nature.
Yeah.
In nature, the hen always goes to Tom. We're making it Tom come to us. Sometimes
you get those ones you got to take it to Tom though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's just outsmarting them. Like my friend John here, he's not a big turkey hunter. He thinks it's easy and boy, I can't wait to get him out this spring.
I feel like people say turkey hunting's easy. You could say, yeah, but I mean, I feel like deer hunting's more simple. It's, hey, if you got private land on some states, you can bait. I mean, it's kind of right place, right time type deal. You pattern them, you got trail camera pictures, you kind of understand them through the years, and then it's kind of like you're just waiting to ambush a deer at that point. But I mean, I feel like turkey, you're constantly moving.
Speaking of trail cam pic.
Yeah. They generally stay in the same radius, but at the same time, they might come in from a field from the left one day. The next day, they come from the right. Deer, it's kind of, they follow the same trail every time. But I mean, I'm no great white deer hunter, but I mean, I just shot my biggest deer this year. It was 144, but hey, I hunt for meat because I want to get to the duck blind. I try to get my deer tags filled before duck season.
So do you make owl hoots or crow calls or
wing bones?
I don't really. I haven't dove into that one yet. There's a little bit more. I know believe it or not, owl hooters, there's a science to it. It's all about the back pressure. So
right.
I thought about diving into it, but just not yet. I'm trying to get this 6-shooter up and going to where it needs to be, and we're going to go from there.
Well, why don't you show our viewers what your 6-shooter looks like?
I was about to say, I'm not really a turkey hunter, so you say 6-shooter, and I'm immediately thinking something crazy.
So the 6-shooter in general, you got three surfaces on the front, which you got brass, ceramic, and aluminum. Then you flip it over to the back, you got glass, copper, and slate. So I mean, you have 6 of the 8 most mainline surfaces, I would say, in the turkey call business. I mean, yeah, there's different color slates, and which affects the sound a little bit, but I mean, you get a wide variety of sounding from these calls, and it's a game changer.
Shotgun jams?
What's that?
If your shotgun jams, it looks like a Ninja Star. Just throw it at them.
Yeah, I mean, it weighs the same as a beer can, so I mean, you might be able to knock a bird out.
Right.
But the whole idea of this was, like, I take a lot of kids hunting, so there's times where I have to switch to multiple calls while watching the kid to make sure they're staying still and all that. And it was just like, there's got to be another option. So,
right.
One night I was having some adult beverages, and I started scribbling on a piece of paper because, I'm always thinking about turkey hunting. And so I started scribbling on a piece of paper, and I was like, man, it looks like a turkey call. I went in my shop the next day and I cut one. The first one, believe it or not, the prototype only had 4 surfaces. But then I was like, why not just do 6? So I made 6. I glued it together. I started calling on it. I'm like, oh, wow. I thought it was just going to kind of be all the same sound. I got 6 different tones out of it. And I'm like, this is going to be game changing. You free up moving around, diving into your vest. Oh, I got to use a slate call. I got to pull out the glass. I got to pull out the copper. When all you got to do is just rotate one call in your hand, and you've alleviated one less thing to get busted on.
Right.
So
Makes sense. I mean, I love the design. Like, I want one just because it looks amazing. Like, I think it looks good just hanging on the wall.
Right.
Yeah, I actually this weekend I was in Kansas City at my show. I got two of my favorite legends to sign my call. I got Eddie the Turkey Man Salter and Michael Waddell.
Okay.
They had a few words for it. They was like, "Oh man, this is Eddie." Eddie told me, he goes, "This will go somewhere in the turkey world. Don't just keep at it." So, and then Michael was very, very humble about it. He was very nice. It was just nice to hear, you know, people of
legend
that caliber say like, "Oh man, this is it," you know.
Right.
But
a few weeks ago, we seen old Michael and Culpepper and all them. And
you know, he's a lot taller. He is tall.
Culpepper?
No, Waddell. He's pretty darn tall. He looks short in his videos, but man, he's a tall dude.
Long-legged. Yeah. I wouldn't try to keep up with him in the woods. He looks like he can stride.
Yeah, he always just looks so short in the hunting videos, and then you get up to him, you're like, oh, hey.
Well, because all of his cameramen go up higher than him in the stands, so they're shooting down at him.
I was really surprised, and man, I'll tell you what, that guy he's friendly. Like, he's a nice dude, and he'll sit there and he spent a couple minutes talking, and he don't care. Like, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
now you're gonna have to make a 3-sided locator call. Do an owl hoop, like a gun barrel shape crow.
Well, I do have something else in the works. I gotta still do the designing of it and then maybe carve it out. But I do have another idea in mind.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna release that today.
I was about to say, Anthony, you're trying to put this man's secrets out here on blast. Like,
yeah. No, man. But I probably just gave somebody an idea and they're going to make a fortune off of it. You might need to edit that part, John. But well, tell us the story about your hunting out in Kansas. I mean, do you just hunt in Kansas or do you hunt other states as well?
So since I've gotten out, it's been a lot easier to travel for hunting. So this year we'll be doing Nebraska again. So I'll hunt Kansas, Nebraska. There's a possibility I'll go hunt Merriam's up in Colorado. I just got over COVID like last month, so I'm still trying to get my lungs back to normal. So I'm not just going to go up in Colorado, up in that altitude, and just hate life. But I've hunted Minnesota. I've hunted Minnesota for black bear and deer. Where else? I've hunted in Georgia when I was stationed down there, that's a whole different caliber of hunting down there in the swamps. So I've hunted Pennsylvania, Arkansas, and Texas just recently for hogs. So I did that with a hunt swap deal, which I'm also a co-founder of that app we have out, which might be good for your listeners. It's a peer-to-peer platform where you can basically get on there and swap, trade for hunts. You can buy hunts, basically whatever. I had talked to a farmer at the show, and I'm like, yeah, you can even offer labor for a hunt. And he was like, oh, man, I got hay that got to get thrown. I got plenty of turkeys, too. I'm going to take a post and put it on there, see if anybody wants to hunt turkey in Missouri for throwing hay on a couple days. So, I mean,
count me in.
It's endless on what you can offer and what you can get out.
I need to work out anyway. I'll go throw some hay.
It's a free app. It's available on Google and the Apple stores, and we're about 2 months in. It's called Hunt Swap, all one word. There's a website, huntswap.club, and it'll tell you basically a little bit about our app, and it's amazing. You know, I swapped a guy down in Texas for a turkey hunt. He brings his boys up here in about 2 weeks, and we're going to get on some turkey. He took me and my wife down there. He owns a resort, the Silver Spur Resort in Canton, Texas. He fed us. He lodged us in a nice treehouse type deal, and we didn't get a hog, but we didn't get one. But he offered. He said, "You guys come down whenever you want. Get you on a hog, and we'll see you guys in April." So,
if it's who I think it is, we sent a vet down there in June for a hog, and they got one.
Is the fella's name's Jeff?
Maybe. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, because I know he says he donates hog hunts to veterans.
I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. Small world.
It is a small world. Yeah, he'll be up here
Yeah.
in 2 weeks with his 2 boys, and we'll
Awesome.
go get his boys on some turkeys. So, but yeah,
I'm pretty
I
positive.
feel like that app is something we need in the hunting community. It's a no politics, no deal. It's hunting. Yeah. It's where a hunter. It's built by hunters for hunters.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I put his boys on a turkey hunt in Kansas last year.
Really? Was it because he was talking about a hunt out in Kansas last year with his boys?
Yeah,
man, it's a small world.
It is.
I'll have to mention it. I'll mention your name when he comes up.
Just to give you another tip, if you're looking for hunts, what I use a lot is AirBNB. And man, you can find some incredible places to hunt if you just search through AirBNB. Every state has them. Every state. So I've hunted Wyoming, Kansas because of AirBNB. So
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I try to utilize that app, but I also, the good thing about being in the military too is you got friends that are hunters in all different states. And you always keep in touch with them, and it's like, hey man, come out to Iowa. So that's going to be next year. I'm going to put in for the draw. Hopefully I get picked. So Iowa and Oklahoma are on the board for next year.
Well, if you don't get drawn, you can get an over-counter tag in Iowa, but you have to use a muzzle-loading shotgun.
Oh, okay.
So that would be, you can mark 2 things off on bucket list right there if you've ever wanted.
I've always wanted to kill one with a muzzle-loading shotgun, that's for sure.
So, but it's that's the only way you can get over-the-counter tag in Iowa for turkey.
They make you work for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but
that's like old PA, your state. What is it? Right after Christmas, they do the old flintlock season for deer.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you just mentioned PA. I'll tell you what, that was one of the hardest states for me with turkey. I was hunting in the mountains. Man, that type of hunting will challenge you. You get one goblin up on a ridge, you get up on the ridge. Next thing you know, he's below you, and you're like, oh man, we're gonna play this game. Yeah. I'll meet you in the middle. But man, some of that terrain up there is unforgiving.
Yeah, it's mountains where I live here in Tennessee, and I like it. You start at the top in the morning, they're on the roost, they fly to the bottom, you work your way to the bottom, and next thing you know it, they're at the top, and you play up down about 7 times before you get on them.
Yeah, until they want to get within gun range.
Yeah, but it's the most rewarding, at least in my opinion. When you really have to work for a bird, it's really rewarding.
Oh, yeah. Flatland is beautiful. We should talk more about flatland.
That's Kansas.
One of the hardest hunts I'd ever been on was in Kansas.
Really?
Oh, dude. I was hunting this through AirBNB. I was hunting this field. Had a strip of woods that was maybe 200 yards long that was following a creek that divided the field in half. So get out of the truck, glass the field, notice the birds in the shade, go behind the truck, crawl down to the creek, crawl through the creek for about 100 yards, get up in a blowdown. And I watched 12 toms and 40 hens dance back and forth across this hill for 4 hours. And then finally was able to shoot one. And it was the furthest shot I've ever made on a turkey. But if I wouldn't have shot, I wouldn't have got him because the sun was setting. So it's 72 yards.
Wow. You using TSS?
Yeah.
I can't come to use that. I only use that stuff on my 410 when I take the kids out. But 410 seems to be the new hotness in the turkey world now.
Yeah, I use TSS in a 20 gauge.
Okay.
I've used it in a 12, and we use a guy named Foxtrot by Bryce Hensley.
Yeah, I see that on the turkey groups a lot. That Foxtrot ammo. I heard he's got some nice stuff.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. If you want to use a shotgun to hunt predators, he makes a great predator load. Same for waterfowl, turkeys. So
I used that TSS on when I was goose hunting, and man, that stuff. Oh my gosh,
it is. I went dove hunting. I went dove hunting not last year, the year before last, and took steel shot with me, and it just wouldn't kill the doves, dude. It was an accident that I took the steel shot. I thought I grabbed lead, but I couldn't use steel, man.
A lot of states are going to steel for dove now.
Yeah.
Kansas, near like most of it's all non-toxic shot fields now.
Right.
So
that TSS, that tungsten super shot, that stuff's deadly, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right. So, well, Steve, we appreciate you coming in and telling us about 2FO game calls, man.
All right, appreciate being on here. Like I said, website's www.2fogamecalls.com. We got some calls that are about to get uploaded today, hopefully. Some leftover from the show. There's some really nice wood choices and surface choices to choose from. So,
do you make strikers too?
I don't do. I do, but like I said, right now it's PCS season, so it's kind of I'm in between PCS season and turkey season. But I mean, I can do a one-piece striker type deal if you'd have to email me at that point. But yeah, if you're in the market for a new call, just shoot on over.
Awesome. Well, what's the range that 6-shooter goes for? I'm curious.
The price range?
Yeah.
$184.99. So
it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. I get a lot of guys when they buy, they're like, "Oh, that's it," and I'm like, "Oh, well, we can go higher if you like. If you want to,
right? No,
if you want to tip me."
It's because when we were at the NWTF show and I was looking at these calls and I was like, "Oh, this is a beautiful copper call. How much is it?" They were like, "Oh, $350."
Huh? Yeah, and I've done a lot of donations to the NWTF. Just this year, I did 2 banquet packages for 2 chapters in Nebraska, and my 6-shooter at both banquets brought in $520 for just that call.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, whatever I can do to help, I try to help. So,
yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe we can get together and figure out like a package or something, and we can raffle it off at MSA or something.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. We'll keep in touch for sure. And I really appreciate you guys having me on, and it was fun.
Maybe we can even get a vet out there to turkey hunt with you, dude.
Hey, believe it. It's funny. I actually have a post on the Hunt Swap deal, like, hey, I'm looking for a veteran. I was even going to supply them with a nice little Alps vest and chair, everything. If it was a new turkey hunter or somebody wanted to get into it, that's what I do. Because kind of like this year, it's my second year doing it. We raised some money through some sponsors, local businesses around here. We're outfitting 8 kids from head to toe, from leaf suits, vests, all the gear that you need to start, up to decoys, and their taxidermy's covered. I'm going to do their taxidermy, their fan mounts, and then local taxidermist Bowman Taxidermy out of Wakefield, Kansas. He donates a full bus mount. He's done it 2 years in a row.
Awesome.
So one kid gets drawn for that. So
yeah,
that's great.
Well, if
you got a veteran, you just shoot me a message and let's make something happen.
We'll
get that set up.
I'll call you as soon as it's done, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, brother.
Thanks for having me.
See you.
Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for watching another episode of Outdoors with MSA. Until next time, be easy.